India is embarking on one of its most ambitious projects, yet a $7 billion dam that's poised to reshape the flow of one of the country's major rivers. This isn't just another hydroelectric project. It's a massive undertaking that promises to revolutionize India's energy landscape while addressing water management challenges. But it also brings potential risks for downstream communities and the environment. The dam is expected to generate electricity, control flooding, and boost irrigation. But what about the people whose lives depend on the natural flow of the river? How will this project affect them? And what does it mean for the ecosystems that have thrived for generations along its banks? Let's start by getting a sense of just how big this project is. The Subansiri Lower Hydroelectric Project is located on the Subansiri River, a tributary of the mighty Brahmaputra in the northeastern state of Arunachal Pradesh. When completed, it will become one of India's largest dams, generating up to 2,000 megawatts of electricity, enough to power millions of homes and businesses across the region. But it's not just about energy. The project is designed to help control the river's notoriously unpredictable floods and provide much-needed water for irrigation during the dry season. Construction on the dam began in 2005, but it's been plagued by delays and controversies ever since. Environmentalists, local communities, and even some government agencies have raised concerns about the project's potential impact on the river's ecosystems and the people who depend on them. Despite these challenges, the government is pushing ahead, and the dam is expected to be fully operational by 2026. To put things into perspective, the dam will stand 116 meters tall, nearly as high as a 40-story building, and will stretch 284 meters across the river. That's a lot of concrete. The reservoir it creates will cover a vast area, submerging villages, forests, and farmland. Thousands of people have already been displaced, and many more could be affected once the dam is fully operational. The National Hydroelectric Power Corporation, NHPC, is spearheading the project, and it's being hailed as a crucial part of India's strategy to secure its energy future. The Brahmaputra River Basin, where the dam is being constructed, holds immense hydropower potential, an estimated 63,328 megawatts, according to government estimates. Northeast India, with its abundant water resources, has long been seen as the future powerhouse of India. The Subansiri project is the first in a series of dams that the government hopes will unlock this region's potential. But it's not just about the numbers. The dam is a symbol of India's growing ambitions on the global stage. As the country continues to industrialize and urbanize, the demand for energy is skyrocketing. Hydroelectric power is seen as a cleaner, more sustainable alternative to coal and natural gas, and the Subansiri project is expected to play a key role in India's efforts to transition to a greener energy future. However, with great ambition comes great responsibility, and the impact of this project will be felt far beyond its immediate vicinity. One of the most profound changes the dam will bring is to the natural flow of the Subansiri River. Rivers, as we know, have their own rhythm. They swell during the rainy season and recede during the dry months, following patterns that have been in place for millennia. This ebb and flow nourish the land, support wildlife, and sustain human communities along their banks. But with the construction of the dam, that natural rhythm will be disrupted. For most of the day, the dam will hold back the river, releasing only a trickle of water downstream. Then, for about 4 hours each evening, the floodgates will open, sending a torrent of water downstream to generate electricity. This sudden surge of water, akin to a daily mini-flood, will radically alter the river's behavior. For local communities, especially farmers who rely on the river's floodplains to grow crops, this could be devastating. The sandbars and islands that emerge during the dry season, which have been used for generations to cultivate crops like rice and mustard, will be washed away. The erratic water levels will also make it difficult for fishermen to predict when and where to cast their nets, disrupting livelihoods that have been tied to the river for centuries. But it's not just about the human impact. The changes in water flow will also have serious ecological consequences. Rivers carry not just water, but also sediment particles of soil, sand, and organic matter that are essential for maintaining the health of ecosystems downstream. When a dam is built, much of this sediment gets trapped behind the structure, preventing it from reaching the river's lower stretches. Without this sediment, the riverbanks downstream could start to erode, leading to the loss of farmland and the destruction of habitats for wildlife. The daily surges of water from the dam will also increase the river's scouring power, potentially deepening the riverbed and altering the landscape in ways that could take decades to fully understand. In addition, the dam will reduce the river's ability to recharge groundwater supplies, which are crucial for agriculture and drinking water in the region. During the dry season, when the river's flow is naturally low, the dam will further restrict the amount of water reaching downstream communities, exacerbating water shortages and potentially leading to conflicts over water resources. The environmental impact of the Subansiri Dam has been a hotly debated issue since the project was first proposed. Northeast India is one of the most biodiverse regions in the world, home to countless species of plants, animals, and fish that thrive in its rivers and forests. The construction of a massive dam in this fragile ecosystem has raised alarm bells among environmentalists and conservationists. One of the most immediate concerns is the impact on fish populations. The Subansiri River is home to several species of migratory fish, including the golden mahseer, a prized game fish that is already under threat from overfishing and habitat loss. These fish rely on the river's natural flow to move between different parts of the river for breeding and feeding. By disrupting this flow, the dam will make it much harder for them to survive. Fish aren't the only ones affected. The Gangetic dolphin, India's national aquatic animal, also depends on a steady flow of water to navigate and find food. These dolphins are highly sensitive to changes in water levels, and the dam's daily surges could push them out of their habitats or even strand them in shallow waters. The National Green Tribunal has mandated that the dam operators release a minimum amount of water to ensure the survival of these dolphins, but it remains to be seen whether this will be enough. Then there's the issue of deforestation. The reservoir created by the dam will submerge more than 45 square kilometers of forest land, much of it home to indigenous communities and wildlife. These forests are not just biodiversity hotspots. They also play a crucial role in regulating the local climate, absorbing carbon dioxide, and preventing soil erosion. Once they're gone, it will be nearly impossible to bring them back. The loss of these forests will also have a profound impact on the people who live in the region. Indigenous communities like the Mising tribe have lived in harmony with these forests for generations, relying on them for food, fuel, and shelter. The construction of the dam will force many of these communities to relocate, disrupting their traditional way of life and severing their connection to the land. Climate change is another factor to consider. As global temperatures rise, extreme weather events like floods and droughts are becoming more common. The dam, by altering the natural flow of the river, could make the region even more vulnerable to these events. During times of drought, the dam will hold back much of the river's water, exacerbating water shortages downstream. Conversely, during times of heavy rainfall, the dam may not be able to release water quickly enough, increasing the risk of flooding. Despite the environmental concerns, there are clear economic benefits to the Subansiri Dam project. India's demand for electricity is growing rapidly, driven by industrialization, urbanization, and population growth. Hydroelectric power is seen as a cleaner, more sustainable alternative to fossil fuels, and the Subansiri Dam will play a crucial role in meeting India's energy needs. Once fully operational, the dam will generate up to 2,000 megawatts of electricity, enough to power millions of homes and businesses across the region. This will help reduce India's reliance on coal and natural gas, which are major contributors to air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. By providing a stable source of clean energy, the dam will help India meet its climate goals and transition to a greener economy. In addition to electricity, the dam will also provide much-needed water for irrigation. Farmers in the Northeast have long struggled with unpredictable rainfall and water shortages, which can make it difficult to grow crops consistently. By storing water during the rainy season and releasing it during the dry months, the dam will help stabilize agricultural output, providing a more reliable income for farmers. But the economic benefits of the dam come with significant risks. Large infrastructure projects like this are notoriously prone to cost overruns and delays. and the Subansiri Dam is no exception. The project has already been delayed multiple times due to protests, environmental concerns, and legal challenges, pushing the completion date back by several years. The cost of the project has also ballooned far beyond its original estimates, raising questions about whether it will be able to deliver the promised economic benefits. There's also the question of whether the benefits will be evenly distributed. Most of the electricity generated by the dam will likely be sent to urban centers and industries outside the region, leaving local communities with little to gain. Many of the people displaced by the project may find themselves without adequate compensation or access to the promised benefits. As with many large infrastructure projects, the people who bear the brunt of the environmental and social costs are often not the ones who reap the rewards. Moreover, large hydroelectric projects carry inherent risks due to their reliance on unpredictable natural conditions. While the dam is designed to provide a stable source of energy, the flow of the river will still be influenced by rainfall, snowmelt, and other climate-related factors. In years of drought, the river may not carry enough water to generate the full amount of electricity the project is designed for, reducing its economic viability. Additionally, there are long-term concerns about the cost of maintaining and operating the dam. Over time, sediment will build up behind the dam, reducing its storage capacity and making it less efficient at generating electricity. Cleaning out this sediment can be an expensive and time-consuming process, and it's unclear whether the project's long-term benefits will outweigh these costs. The social implications of the Subansiri Dam project are far-reaching. Indigenous communities in the region have relied on the river for centuries, not just as a source of water, but as the foundation of their culture and way of life. The Mising tribe, for instance, refers to the Subansiri as the Mother River, and its flow dictates everything from when they plant their crops to how they fish and navigate their boats. The dam will disrupt this way of life, potentially displacing thousands of people and forcing them to relocate to unfamiliar areas where they may not have the resources to sustain themselves. The government has promised compensation for those who are displaced, but the reality is that many of these communities will face significant challenges in rebuilding their lives. The loss of their ancestral lands could have a profound impact on their identity and connection to their cultural heritage. Politically, the project has sparked controversy at both the national and international levels. Within India, environmentalists, activists, and local communities have staged protests against the dam, arguing that the government has not adequately considered the environmental and social costs of the project. The Krishak Mukti Sangram Samiti, KMSS, a prominent farmers' organization in Assam, has been at the forefront of these protests, accusing the government of prioritizing corporate interests over the needs of local people. Internationally, the project has raised tensions between India and China, which also has plans to build dams on the Brahmaputra River upstream. The two countries have long-standing disputes over water rights, and China's dam-building efforts could reduce the flow of water into India, potentially limiting the effectiveness of the Subansiri Dam. While India and China have signed agreements to share data on river flows, there is no formal treaty governing the use of the Brahmaputra's waters, leaving the door open for future conflicts. The project is also emblematic of broader debates about the role of large infrastructure projects in economic development. Proponents argue that the dam will bring much-needed investment to one of India's most underdeveloped regions, creating jobs, boosting the economy, and improving living standards. Critics, however, point to the environmental and social costs, as well as the fact that many of the promised benefits may not materialize for the people who need them most. Building a dam of this size and scale requires cutting-edge engineering and technological innovation. The Subansiri Lower Hydroelectric project, like many modern dams, is designed to withstand the unique challenges posed by the local environment. One of the biggest concerns is the risk of earthquakes, as the northeastern region of India is prone to seismic activity. Engineers have taken this into account, designing the dam to be earthquake-resistant and incorporating advanced materials and construction techniques to ensure its stability. The dam will also use state-of-the-art water management systems to optimize power generation while minimizing its impact on the environment. The controlled release of water during peak electricity demand hours allows for efficient energy production, while ensuring that enough water is released during off-peak hours to support downstream ecosystems. Real-time monitoring systems will track water levels, river flow, and sediment buildup, allowing operators to make adjustments as needed to maintain the dam's performance. In terms of power generation, the Subansiri Dam will use turbines that are specifically designed to handle the fluctuations in water flow caused by the daily release schedule. These turbines are more efficient than older models, allowing the dam to generate more electricity with less water. The dam is also part of a larger network of hydropower projects in the region, which will allow for greater coordination and optimization of energy production across multiple sites. The use of innovative technology is not limited to the dam itself. The project also includes extensive infrastructure development in the surrounding area, including roads, bridges, and transmission lines to carry the electricity generated by the dam to urban centers and industrial hubs across the region. This infrastructure is critical to ensuring that the dam's benefits are fully realized, but it also comes with its own set of environmental and social challenges. Looking ahead, the long-term impacts of the Subansiri Dam project are still uncertain. On the one hand, it has the potential to provide a stable source of clean energy for decades to come, helping India meet its growing energy needs and reduce its reliance on fossil fuels. Hydroelectric power is a key part of India's strategy to transition to a more sustainable energy mix, and the Subansiri Dam will play a crucial role in that transition. However, the environmental and social costs of the project may continue to mount over time. The changes in river flow, sediment transport, and groundwater recharge could have lasting effects on the region's ecosystems and communities. The displacement of indigenous people and the destruction of forests could also have long-term consequences for biodiversity and cultural heritage. In a global context, the Subansiri Dam is part of a broader trend of large-scale infrastructure projects aimed at harnessing the power of rivers to meet the world's growing demand for energy. Similar projects have been undertaken in countries like China, Brazil, and the United States, with mixed results. While dams can provide significant benefits in terms of energy production and water management, they also carry risks, particularly in terms of their environmental and social impact. One of the biggest challenges for the Subansiri project will be managing the balance between energy production and environmental conservation. As climate change accelerates, the region's weather patterns are likely to become more unpredictable, with more frequent droughts, floods, and extreme weather events. The dam will need to be flexible enough to adapt to these changing conditions, while still providing a reliable source of energy and water. At the same time, the project raises important questions about the role of large infrastructure projects in economic development. While the Subansiri Dam is expected to bring significant benefits to India's energy sector, it remains to be seen whether those benefits will outweigh the costs, particularly for the people and ecosystems most directly affected by the project. As India continues to pursue its ambitious development goals, it will need to find ways to balance the need for growth with the imperative to protect its natural and cultural heritage. India's $7 billion dam project on the Subansiri River is a massive undertaking with the potential to change the landscape of the region both literally and figuratively. It promises clean energy, improved water management, and economic development. But these benefits come with significant costs. The environmental damage, social displacement, and long-term risks associated with the project cannot be ignored. While the dam represents progress in many ways, it also serves as a reminder of the complex choices that come with large-scale infrastructure development. So, what do you think? Can India balance the need for energy with the need to protect its environment and communities? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on important global issues.